Dear brothers and sisters, I'm sorry the khutbah was long, but I took advantage of the fact that this is a day off and there's a big gathering to try to deliver as much as possible of important information that we need as Muslims. So please forgive me for that. Inshallah, we will not take much longer, but I will try to summarize what I said in the Arabic khutbah real quick here. Number one is that we should all feel the blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have been guided to this deen. While most people on earth have been deprived of this blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This deen of Islam is the only way in life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts. Any other way of worshipping Allah or believing Allah is not accepted and will not save the person from being in hellfire for eternity. So just Allah has given us a gift that can save you for eternity from the torment of the fire of hell and admit you for eternity in the best unimaginable pleasures forever and ever. This is a blessing that we should take very seriously and we should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has stated clearly in the Quran that whoever chooses a religion other than Islam, لن يقبل منه, it will not be accepted. In the deen عند الله Islam, the only religion valid in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Islam. Actually, Islam is the religion, the essence of Islam is the religion given to all the prophets. What did all the prophets come by? They came to tell the people that your Lord is one, you worship Him, you love Him from all your soul, all your heart, and that you dedicate your life to Him, and that you follow in your way of life the prophets. That's exactly right. Now we say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah because this is the last prophet. But before that, the Shahada would have been La ilaha illallah Isa Rasulullah at the time of Isa alayhi salam. La ilaha illallah Musa Rasulullah. This was Islam. So Islam is the religion of all the prophets. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran. قُولُوا أَمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ, say that we believe in Allah. And what has been revealed to us and what has been revealed to Musa wa Isa wa Nabiyyun and all the prophets before. Basically, Islam is not a new invented religion. It is the essence of the religion that was given to every prophet before the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But unfortunately, the followers of the previous religions have tampered with their books and their texts and have lost them. Actually, as I said in Arabic khutbah, there's not a single religion on earth today except Islam where the original texts in the original language that have been in which the religion was revealed to the Prophet is still present. There's not a single text except the text of Islam, the Quran and Sunnah in the original language. Otherwise, if we look back, we know that Musa alayhi salam spoke the Aramaic and the old Coptic Egyptian language, and Isa alayhi salam spoke the Aramaic language, and there's not a single text in that language from Musa alayhi salam or Isa alayhi salam. Abadan, never. You won't find that. What people have is remnants of some of what Musa alayhi salam said, and somewhat what Isa and some of what the Prophet said, mixed with a huge amount of additions of people and scribes and priests and rabbis over generations, to the extent that you can't tell anymore what is the true religion from what is the false part. The only way to tell, only the Muslim can tell what is true or false, because you have the lens, you have the parameter, you have the final version of the revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, untampered with, unchanged. And you can compare to that. Whatever is in their books that is similar to what was revealed to us is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala originally. But the actual text and how it was said is not there anymore. But no problem. The meaning is there. But most of what is in their books otherwise is changed. So we have to be very careful. When they come and argue with us and they bring us a Bible or bring us some other book trying to take us away from this pure religion, this is shaitan. This is a shaitan standing in front of you, calling you to the fire of hell. Du'atun ala abwab jahannam, like Prophet Muhammad said. These are people calling you, this is a door of hell, come and jump into it. Because how can you follow something that you don't know what the origin is? You don't know if it is related to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not. You don't have any material evidence to prove that this was a saying from Allah or His Prophet. How can you? How can you leave the pure text of the Quran, in which every letter, every single letter, not every letter only, the way he pronounced it, it's a miracle, wallahi. The way the Prophet pronounced every letter is preserved. When you read the qira'at, how we pronounce the different qira'at of the Quran, it's the same text. But this he taught this tribe in this way, he taught this tribe in this way. The alif, he would say, for instance, ad-duha, ad-duhi, ad-duha. All the different ways he taught every tribe is there. Even how the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke. So one time he said, we're talking about Dajjal. And this is very interesting. When he talks about Dajjal, he says, مَكْتُوبٌ بَيْنَ عَيْنَيْهِ كَافِرٌ. Between his eyes, you can read. A believer, if he looks between the eyes, he will see the word kafir. Means a disbeliever. This is a disbeliever standing in front of you right now. مَكْتُوبٌ بَيْنَ عَيْنَيْهِ كَافِرٌ. And then, وَتَهَجَّاهَا. The Sahaba said, then the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he actually spelled it. Although he wasn't a writer or a reader. But by the teaching of Allah, he spelled it. He says, kaf, fa, ra. Imagine that. Even the spelling of his words, how he spelled it, is preserved. And look at this. He spelled it kaf, fa, ra. He didn't spell it kaf, alif, fa, ra. Because the alif, this is not how they used to write at the time. They used to write the alif, a small alif. Even in the Quran today, you sign al-kitab, you see the small alif. You see, you read it as if al-kutub, but there's a small alif there. So this is how they used to write. Kaf, fa, ra. Not only that, even when even his pauses and his silences are preserved. Look at this. Do you know the ending of the ayat? We say verse 1, verse 2, verse 3. It wasn't numbered. These numbers came after to help the people. This is where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ stopped. So when he recited the ayah, for instance, let's say, وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى, he would stop. These are his pauses. His moments of silence are preserved. What about his moments of speech? Subhanallah. Even the moments of silence are preserved. It's quite amazing. When he used to pray, they used to, one Sahabi said to him, Abu Hurairah said to him, Ya Rasulullah, when you say Allahu Akbar, we hear you quiet a little bit before you start reciting the Fatiha. What are you saying? So even his moments of pause and silence are preserved for us. And then he taught him what he used to say silently. اللهم باعد بيني وبين خطاياي كما بعدت بين المشرق. He taught him that, what we call dua al-istiftah, the beginning of the salah. You have to feel proud. You have to feel fortunate that you have the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These words have barakah. Blessing. These are the words that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke with. Jibreel alayhi salam spoke with. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam spoke with. Abu Bakr and Umar, Uthman wa Ali spoke with. All the Sahaba spoke with. And now you are speaking with them again. You have to feel that there is light coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu nur as-samawati wal-ard. And we have a connected chain of narration to these words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From us to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to Jibreel alayhi salam, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every time you recite the Quran, you should remember this, that you are mentioning and reading words that are connected in one golden chain from you, not to a human being, but to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His words, oh Allah. We have to remember this. We are blessed, wallahi. That's why it's very heartbreaking to see that people of other religion trying to confuse us. What are you confusing us about? What you are leading yourself to the hellfire and you want to take me with you? This is what you want? Naam. Du'atun ala abwab jahannam. قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا. Should I tell you about the biggest losers in Surah Al-Kahf? الَّذِينَ ضَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيا. They have gone astray. وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يَحْسُنُونَ صُنْعًا. And they think that they are doing the right thing. This is the biggest problem. They think that they are on the right path and they want to take us with them to the fire of hell. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save us from all this confusion. Now, there's so much. Wallahi, we have manuscripts of the Quran, the number of manuscripts of the Quran, and you'll be amazed about this number. I don't say a single word from this member Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I don't say a single word I have not verified. Everything I say in this place, I verify. If I don't know it, I go back and read about it. There are more than 250,000 manuscripts of the Quran in existence today. Some of them full Quran, some of them part of the Quran. But we don't even rely on that. We know that we have a connected chain of narration all the way to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not chain, thousands of chains. Nobody has that. Now, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam talked about the Quran. He says, Kitabullah hablun mamdud min sama al-ard. This book of Allah is a rope that Allah has given down to us from the heaven to the earth. If you are drowning and somebody sends down a rope to take you to salvation, to take you back to your family, will you neglect this rope? Imagine yourself, there's a big storm and there's nobody to rescue you and you're drowning and there are sharks around you and you know that you are going to die, and then somebody out of nowhere comes with a helicopter and sends down a rope and you know they are going to take you back to your family. Will you let go? Will you neglect that? Naam. Never. So this is how the book of Allah, because we are living in a sea of confusion, a sea of different ways in life, each one leading to the fire of hell. This is how Prophet Muhammad drew it. He said, this is the sirat of Allah, the straight path. But then he drew many other lines around it. He says, هذه السبل. These are all different paths leading to the fire of hell. He says, على رأس كل واحد منها شيطان يدعو إليها. He says, and standing at the door of each one of these false roads, false paths to the fire of hell, those roads, he says, there's a shaitan. Could be shaitan ins, could be shaitan jinn, could be a human being, or could be the devil himself or his helpers, the jinn, whispering to you, oh, why are you a Muslim? Muslims are oppressed. Look at Muslims fighting each other. Muslims fighting each other. This is our punishment because we are not true believers, because we left Islam. What do we expect? We want to go against all the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and still remain the strongest ummah, the strongest nation? Allah has warned us, when you leave this path, I will make you fight amongst each other. The hadith and ayat are clear. We cannot argue with this. There's not time, we don't have enough time to talk about all this, but I'm just telling you the facts. That we have been warned that if we do not follow this book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the way of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then we will start becoming enemies to each other and fighting each other and killing each other. حتى يكون بعضكم يقتل بعضا ويأسر بعضا. You will be the ones killing each other, you will be the ones detaining each other. This is what we're seeing. So, but basically when we see this, it increases our faith. We are on the right path. We have to go back, all of us now. And it depends not on individual, the whole ummah. Where is the whole ummah? When the evil is more prevalent than the good, yes, this will be the condition of this ummah. Now, also, the fact that non-Muslims are enjoying life and they have prosperity, they have security, they have stability, this doesn't mean anything. We are being punished so that to save us. وَلَنُذِيقَنَّهُم مِّنَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَدْنَى دُونَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَكْبَرِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. I will make them taste some of the punishment of this life to save them from the punishment of the hereafter. When we suffer like this, it is a reminder for us to wake up and go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah left us without punishment, who is going to wake us up? These are all wake-up calls from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أشد الناس بلاءً الأنبياء. The most trial people in this life are the prophets. Are you better than the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He lost all his male children during his life. Not a single one. If one child dies for him, he'll start saying, why me? And start crying. He lost all his male children. Now, so he was, stones were thrown at him. He was called names. He was cast out of his home country. All what is happening to Muslims, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed us this happening to the best of the best, to the prophets alayhim salam, all of them. Now, Isa alayhi salam, wasn't he oppressed? So the fact that you are oppressed, if some non-Muslims come and tell you, oh, look at Muslims fighting each other, look at what's happening to Muslims, this is a sign that they are not on the straight path. Tell them, Isa alayhi salam, was he on the straight path or not? They'll say yes. What happened to him? Did he live in luxury? When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam one time was sleeping on a rough surface and it showed on his side, one of the Sahaba, Umar al-Khattab, cried, say, oh Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, look, you're living such a hard life while the kings of the Romans and the Persians, they are enjoying everything in this life. Prophet Muhammad said to him, أَفِي شَكٍّ أَنْتَ يَا ابْنَ الْخَطَّابِ? He says, are you doubting your religion, Ibn al-Khattab? Now, are you doubting? He says, أَمَا تَرْضَى أَن تَكُونَ لَهُمُ الدُّنْيَا وَلَنَا الْآخِرَةِ? He says, does it not satisfy you that they only get dunya and we get the akhirah? Naam, this is what it is. Ad-dunya sijnul mu'min, jannatul kafir. Dunya is the prison for the believer. This is where he gets disciplined. What do you expect in prison? To sit on a couch and have people fanning on you and getting you drinks, or sit on the beach? No, this is prison. You are disciplined. We are disciplined for our mistakes in this dunya, on the individual level and on the ummah level. Whoever is not disciplined, he should worry that he is not on the straight path. Now, I will finish quickly. Important for us to take care of our deen, hold tight to our deen, teach our deen to our children. We have classes here, inshallah, after Maghrib, after Isha, every night. We have Jum'ah. We have to come to these gatherings. We have to bring our children Saturdays and Sundays, where there's Quran teaching, Sunnah teaching, Quran, Arabic teaching. Why do we deprive our children from this? The current of taking people away from Islam is too strong, especially in the West. For us as adults before the children, you can imagine, we know all this and still we make mistakes. We are dazzled by their life. We are dazzled by the beauties and luxuries of this life and the attractions. What about the children, our poor children who don't have this immunization or this protection by all this knowledge? They are more prone to go astray. Many children of Muslims in these countries have left Islam altogether. They don't know anything about Islam. They might even end up fighting Islam. And you see many people who were Muslims one day, their second or third generation, have become the worst enemies of Muslims. Naam. So we have to protect our children, always teach them at home, bring them here to teachings, and come to Jama'ah. Jama'ah is so important. Yeah, and there's a final hadith I mentioned in the khutbah, was that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said that he saw Allah in his sleep. And that is okay because he didn't see Allah in reality in this dunya while he was awake. But this is an authentic hadith. Nobody will see Allah while awake in this life. Believers will only see him in the akhirah, in Jannah. But he saw Allah in his sleep. And Allah said to him, "O Muhammad, do you know what the angels are talking about?" And then Allah said to him, "Fil kaffarati wad darajat." They are talking about those things that wipe out the sins and those things that elevate the ranks. And then he said to him, those things that wipe out the sins are taking steps to the Jama'ah, coming to the Salah in Jama'ah, sitting after the Salah in the masjid, and doing your wudu even when it is difficult, when the water is cold or you have to wake up from sleep and do your wudu. This is what wipes out the sins. And then he says, وَالدَّرَجَاتُ. And what elevates the ranks? He says, إفشاء السلام وإطعام الطعام, to spread peace, to feed people, mean be good to nice to people. وَالصَّلَاةُ بِاللَّيْلِ وَالنَّاسِ نِيَامٌ, and to pray at night. Naam, which means you have good connection with Allah and you have good connection with the people. Look at this. He says, whoever fulfills that, he says, عَاشَ بِخَيْرٍ, he will live in happiness. وَمَاتَ بِخَيْرٍ, and his ending will be a good ending, which means he will die inshallah on Islam. You keep these things, you will die on Islam for sure. Naam. وَكَانَ مِن ذُنُوبِهِ كَيَوْمَ وَلَدَتْهُ أُمُّهُ, and his sins will always be wiped out. He will always walk in the same state as if he was just born. Now, أقول قولي هذا استغفر الله جل ولكم. And then he taught him this dua, which we'll start with inshallah in the same hadith.